Hey everyone. Hey Fernando, hey Tam. We're just waiting one more minute and we'll get started just after a minute, giving everybody a chance to log in shortly. Hey everyone. Hey Fernando, hey Tam. We're just waiting one more minute and we'll get started just after a minute, giving everybody a chance to log in shortly. Oh, there's a feedback. I think it's the live stream. Just close
Yeah.
that tab. Yeah, just close that tab. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, sorry everyone. And also, just so you know, we're recording and streaming on YouTube, which is what that echo was. By the way, I'm Alma. I'm a teacher at DataStack Academy. I'll introduce myself properly once we actually get started.
Well, this this would be a good time. Why don't we get started? Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll do that now then. Hello, that's me. My name is Alma Frankenstein. I'm an engineer and teacher at the DataStack Academy Bootcamp. I will be also giving you a brief lesson today about the notebook that we'll be working in. It's a pleasure to see you all. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah. And you guys already see me, in part. I also just a couple of housekeeping things. So today workshop is going to be, like I said yesterday, mostly working with Pandas, which is a Python library often used by data scientists and data engineers to both transform and ingest data, but also to analyze and visualize data as well. And you'll be doing some of that today. Um, Same concept as yesterday, so we'll go over it in a second. But before that, I wanted to make sure I did send out an email with all the resources from yesterday. So you should get an email from Eventbrite or through Eventbrite that has the link for yesterday's slides. It also has that cheat sheet that I promised with all the resources to go and learn about data engineering on your own. It also has both the notebooks or the workshop links for today and yesterday. So if you haven't got that, please check your email, check your spam folder because it comes through as Eventbrite email. But you can always email me or Alma too, and we can send you the same information. So Alma is alma@datastack.academy, and of course my email is farham@datastack.academy. Uh, Also, another request, maybe I do this again in the wrap up as well, but in that email, there's also a link to our YouTube channel. And just asking you guys a favor, if you can go and subscribe. We're trying to get a certain number of subscribers, and it allows us to do, it enables some features on YouTube for us. So if it's not too much of a bother and you like seeing our content, we post videos in our webinars, all the recordings there all the times. You can subscribe to our channel on YouTube. That would be very helpful. Awesome, Tam. I see you got the email. That's great. All right. So as far as the agenda for today, we, like I said, in the beginning, Alma is going to take you guys through the instructions through the day 2 notebook. And why don't I actually post that link on the chat right now? Just give me 1 second. This is the notebook for day 2. And it's pretty much the same thing. Um, just like yesterday. So when you get this link, which I will post on the chat right now, once you open it, before you can edit and work on the notebook, again, make sure you go to File and then save a copy in your own drive. So that way you have your own copy and that copy will be editable, or you can edit that copy and go through the instruction yourself. So I'm going to post this link in the chat. You should have the notebook link. So Alma is gonna give you guys the instructions between now and 6 on just how to follow the notebook. Then we break out into the breakout rooms, just like yesterday, between 6 to 6:40. We'll come back at 6:40. We'll do the Q&A, and we're trying to wrap up today right by 7. So without any further ado, I'll pass it on to Alma. Alma, take it away.
All right, thank you, Par. So I'm going to share my screen now. Let me see, Pandas Notebook. All right, are we all seeing the Pandas Notebook again?
I can see that. Yep.
Okay, great. So this is the one that Par just shared the link for. This is Notebook Day 2. We will be using the tools that you learned yesterday, like dictionaries and lists, the Python basics, and we'll be using them in the Pandas Library, which is an open source library for Python. It's used for data manipulation and analysis, meaning we can use the tools in the Pandas library to get a sense of what our data contains, like averages and how much data we have. We can clean it up, do things like remove duplicates or get rid of empty values. We can also look for patterns in it, which is really more of a data science than a data engineering job. But if we learn how to do that as data engineers, we can help present our findings, and also we're more able to work with our colleagues further down the data pipeline. We're partly using that today because we will get some cool visualizations with the data that we have. So we have a very soft introduction to begin with to the Pandas library. You're going to import it. It's already installed, luckily for us, in Google Colab. And then what we're doing here, when we say import as PD, is called aliasing it. We're giving it a nickname. So when we want to use one of the tools in the Pandas library, we can say PD dot, and then the name of the tool. It's easier than typing the word pandas every time. We're going to be working with Pandas data frames, which you can kind of think of, if it helps you, as like an Excel spreadsheet, but easier for us to work with and manipulate. And you won't see it really in spreadsheet form while you're working with it. This will make more sense as we scroll down. So the first thing we're going to do is put our data in the form of a dictionary. We have a couple panda bears here. They'll have names, they'll have ages, they'll have homes. The format of the dictionary that Pandas is looking for before it can put it in a data frame is the name of the column followed by a list of values in that column. So here we have a column called name. First value is Buddy, second one's Tian Tian, etc. Then we have a column called age. All the lists are the same length. So if you turn them horizontally, they would all match up. First value, second value, second value. We put that into a Pandas data frame so we can work with our data. And then if you were to show that cell, you would see it in data frame format that looks kind of like an Excel spreadsheet. Reminder that you looked at yesterday, you have to run the code cells in your notebook from top to bottom. For instance, if I run this one here, Panda Friends, this hasn't been assigned to anything yet because I haven't run the cell above it. So if you're getting errors, make sure you do that first. So the first thing we're going to do with this tiny, gentle data set is we're just going to check it out as a way to practice using Pandas. So we get the first values, we get the last values. This notebook mixes in instruction and exercises. So read through it, learn it, practice it, learn it, practice it. That's a lot of how we work in our boot camp also. It's a really excellent way to learn code. It's like learning a musical instrument or any kind of art form. We're going to clean it up by removing duplicate rows. We're going to show the columns. We're going to explore the data more to get familiar with these tools. Once we have an intro to it with the panda bears, we are going to look at a larger, more complicated data set that is UFO sighting data. This was adapted, heavily altered for our sake, from a website called kaggle.com, where you can and are encouraged to go find publicly available data sets on anything you could possibly be interested in. It's a really good way to practice your data engineering skills, and it's free. So again, we're making this dictionary that we're going to pass to a data frame. The keys are the names of our columns. Remember, you learned about keys and values yesterday. And the values are lists that are all the same length. They're going to be the values in those columns. So here we have the shape of the UFO that was sighted, the duration in seconds, and then the location, which is the state abbreviation. We're going to make our pandas data frame from that dictionary. We're going to clean up the data by replacing values that won't work with values that will work. For instance, none with a string, unknown. We're going to see the shape of the data and then the average values, how many different values there are. And then we start getting to the fun part, which is a different library called Matplotlib, which is how you can take the data that you cleaned and organized using pandas and make it into a chart, a cool visualization, which will help you see patterns, and you can also present it to whoever you're sharing your data with. So when you run this, you will see a couple different charts using the UFO data you've been working with. They will appear on your screen and you'll be able to answer questions about your data with them. The last part of this notebook is a little more relevant to daily life. The data in our daily lives is being tracked all the time, whether we know it or like it or not. If you have a Fitbit, for instance, it's tracking your steps. Your phone can be tracking where you're going. We can also, if we want to, look for patterns in our own lives and possibly use them to change our habits. Keep a journal and keep track of our own data day by day. Use the tools that we just learned in this notebook to organize it and look for patterns in it, which can give us insights about our own tendencies or the tendencies of the world around us. So we have an example here. In the example, it's somebody who wants to see if how much time they spend watching baking shows on Netflix has anything to do with how much sugar they eat or how much time they look at baking blogs. So this hypothetical person, could be you, has made a log for a month tracking all of those things, and then using the tools that we looked at above to organize that data and then make a chart out of it and look for insights. I encourage you to not only look at the publicly available large data sets on Kaggle, but to take this into your daily life and see what data can do in your everyday life and how you can use it day to day. We are going to break out into breakout rooms, just like we did yesterday. I think there's 3 participants maybe today, or 4. You can all be in the same room if you want. I think I opened 3 rooms. Before we break out into breakout rooms, does anyone have any questions? Okay, I'm opening the breakout rooms now. So there are 3 of them. There won't be pairs in each room, so.
I was gonna say, do you guys, since there's 3 folks and we can probably circle through the material quickly and we can kind of hop around and see how you guys doing. Do we want to shift the schedule maybe to 6:30? We'll check back in at 6:30. That will give everybody 45 minutes to go through the workshop as well, which I think is probably more than enough. Are you guys all good with checking back in the main room around 6:30 for Q&A? Maybe a thumbs up or just quick yes. Awesome, thanks, Cynthia. All right, I'll see the thumbs ups. Awesome. All right, we'll do that then. Oh, my, I think you're on mute.
Yeah, just encouraging people to go into rooms.
Awesome.
Okay. Wait, so what was happening with the live stream? Why was it echoing like that?
So yeah, I forgot to tell you the last part. You gotta, as soon as it opens that tab and you already see like the picture, close it.
Oh, okay. It keeps live streaming even though, I mean, it says it's
It
live
keeps
streaming.
live streaming. It just, yeah, because the live stream lags a little bit, then it will echo.
Is this the same workbook that we had working out of yesterday, or did you post a second
No,
one?
I posted the second one on
Sorry, I
the
didn't get
chat.
that. I joined late.
Is that, you already did that one? Or Dominic? Do you see the new link?
No, I don't see the new link. I joined late, so I can't see it.
Oh, okay. Let me, here, I'll post it again.
Oh yeah. Thanks, Dominic, for checking. It's a continuation of the notebook yesterday, so you'll be building on the skills that you learned yesterday.
Here,
Okay.
do you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's it. And feel free to join like room 1 with Cynthia and Tam, because I mean, there's only 3 of us. So. Or if you want to work by yourself, join any room you want.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks. Okay, Pyre, I'm gonna throw away this apple core and get some more water, and I'll be right back.
Sounds good. I'll grab some tea too. So there are 2 rides. There's the ride tomorrow at 7. Let me see if I find the link again. Let me actually double check that's the one that we're going to. Yeah, the Thursday night ride at 7. They start at Salmon Spring Fountain. Salmon Spring Fountain is the Hawthorne Fountain, right?
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, and then there's a Saturday ride that our friend is leading. It's 6:45. I think it meets at Lads Edition Circle. I'll send you. Let me send you the Thursday night ride link.
Saturday, I'll be with a friend in the evening, but maybe she'll want to come too. She's a good cyclist.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think it's actually the Saturday one should be a pretty decent ride because I think they started Lance Edition and then ended like Mox Crest Park, so it should be a pretty decent ride.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah. If I find that one. Apparently a friend is leading that one. There's like 24 rides on Saturday.
Great. I'm glad Pedal Police is going strong.
Yeah. And they're doing it like full like 3 months, like all the way till the end of August.
I know. I think they started that during COVID. And
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. There's so many rides on Saturday. I don't know which one it is.
I hope you find out. Yeah, thank you. Tomorrow I have a chess date with my chess teaching friend. Yeah, she's wonderful. But if we're done in time, maybe she'll want to come too.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I mean, there'll be the Thursday night ride is a pretty big ride. So yeah, there'll be like plenty of people there probably.
Yeah, I often see it. It looks delightful.
Yeah. I used to play chess a while ago.
Do you still?
I'm not like very good. I'm good. Honestly, I like lose interest halfway. Like I start out good and then I'm like, ah, and I just go for like all offense. Like get all my pieces killed in like 5 minutes.
No, I often also give up before endgame, but I usually only play with people I actually want to hang out with, so then we just end up hanging out, which is fine.
Right.
Yeah, this friend that I'm trying to have more regular chess dates with, mostly I just want to drink coffee with, but she's great. She's like a chess master, so even if she kicks my ass, I still learn something from her.
Nice. I could probably like enjoy like time games, like just so it's like a speed game. I could probably like, yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I usually just get beat pretty bad in cards with my girlfriend. Like she beats me pretty bad, and then I gotta go like a month of like healing before I play again.
It could be rough. You know how it is. Yeah, the speed chess. There's the kind with the timer, the clock, but there's also, I don't know how universal this is. I just play with this one. Let's see. It's a 5-minute like a blitz game. So the whole game has to be done in 5 minutes, and it's just like it's looking for it's like quick pattern recognition. You don't have time to think about it. Those are pretty fun too.
That could be pretty fun, yeah. Do you just like count the pieces at the end? Like they have like where there's like each piece has like a certain amount of points that you're like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm playing with her. She gets me a checkmate in 5 minutes, but yeah, I guess you could just see who got the most points also.
So Nice. That'd be cool. I could get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, you like this friend also. She's really smart and sassy and funny.
Nice. Nice, nice.
Bring her to the bike ride.
By the way, crazy fact. My girlfriend and I actually met at the Naked Bike Ride like 3 years ago.
Such a good way to meet.
So random. It's so Portland too. Like when I told my sister, like that's like you're not gonna believe how I met this person. Like,
Oh, that's perfect.
of course. It's like, it's like such like not a place that you usually meet someone either.
Yeah, I guess people are shy, but also, I don't know, people are like tipsy and happy and it's a party.
Yeah. Really, you never like usually don't approach someone, you know. It's
That's
like,
true. Yeah. Yeah. How did you actually start talking?
we both got separated from our groups and we met like and we had it's like one of those situations that's so weird. Like honestly, like it could be like some romantic movie at some point, but like we both got separated from our groups like 30 seconds after or before we met. So I lost my group and then she had lost her group. And then she was struggling something with her bike. So like I just like kind of slowed down. It's like, hey, do you need help? And then we are just like, yeah, we talked for a bit. And I'm like, I just lost my group. Do you want to ride? And like we're like, yeah, I just lost my group too. So like somehow we had both lost, like we got, we lost our group, like, and then met right after, like within a minute or two, like after it.
That is a pretty good story.
Yeah, and just like stuck around like throughout the night, like kind of rode together. We both found our group like all the way at the end, like at the end of the night, and went home, our ways. But yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a very Portland.
it's a very cool. I remember like the first actual date that we had, we were both like kind of nervous. We're like, would I like this person with clothes?
And you did. That's good.
Actually being live streamed to YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's true. Watching.
It was, yeah, but like you get so much social cues from someone.
Yeah, no, it's true. Oh, we have a new participant. Hello. Um, Angelica, hi. Saw you just joined. Uh, hmm. Okay.
Nope.
That's that.
I was just gonna post the link again for her, but cool.
Was she here yesterday?
Possibly. I think she was one of the ones in the morning in the beginning and dropped. Do you want to do a round?
Sure.
I can talk to Dominic. Do you want to talk to Sam and Tam, or Cynthia and Tam?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I see.
Right.
Yep, I'll join in room 1. Okay, I'll meet you back here.
All right.
Yep, they're doing great. Oh, you're muted.
Same as Dominic. Yeah, he was in the. Cool. All right. Just gonna work in the background. I'll go on mute. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, I'll be here. Sorry, may I interrupt you with a question?
Sure.
So the comment in the pull request of the week 16 when they're working on their capstones, I do agree that we should have them run their design by us first because, like you said, the other teachers won't know what they're looking at. Can we do that earlier in the week, maybe? I think if we wait until the code review is due.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so like, I mean, they're doing some of the visualization stuff with probably like Monday, Tuesday. I highly doubt they would actually go beyond Tuesday. So they can maybe run it through us end of the day Wednesday or Thursday morning.
Great. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I leave the schedule completely up to you, but
yeah, maybe I can announce it on Monday and let them pick Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If that sounds okay. Okay, thanks. I'm gonna make the other change and then push.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Alma, do you want to give them a heads up that 7 minutes will close the breakout rooms and meet back?
Yep. Hey, Par. Is there anything you want to say to the students or want me to say to the students before the Q&A? Do we have anything to present to them? Oh, you're muted.
No, sorry, not really. I think, everything was presented yesterday, so should be all good.
All right, well then in a minute, I'll close the breakout rooms and just let them ask.
Sounds good.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So now we have some time for a Q&A. Anything that came up while you were working on the notebook or just any questions in general you have about starting a data engineering career, joining the boot camp, anything at all we can help you with. Ask away. You can also use the chat if you don't want to turn on your microphone.
Elma, I'm working on the pie chart right now, and in looking at the example, is there a way so that you don't have to hard code the labels and the number sightings? Can you take those from the data frame, the group location data frame, directly?
Yeah, let me get into that code and see. I believe you can in Matplotlib. It's worth experimenting with. I think the way you would do it is instead of taking the labels and assigning the list of labels to a variable, you would, like you learned yesterday, get that value out of the dictionary that you created the data frame from.
Can you show me that example? I'm not sure quite how to do that.
Yeah, well, let's see if it actually works. Let me share my screen and we can all take a second and look through it together. Just a moment. Okay, are we looking at my notebook?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so labels, looking at, let me get oriented for a second. Thanks for reading, Tim. Arkansas, California, Colorado. That's all of them, right? Looks like that's the unique ones. So what we could do is, I believe, assign the unique values to a variable. So you want to call it uniques. Okay, so now we have a variable whose value is this. Let's make it a list instead of an array type, because that's what we'll be looking for later, which you can do by just wrapping it in the word list. Okay, and then get the values for it and make sure that this worked. Okay, so I believe the labels that we're assigning are this, right? So this variable now holds this value. So I think instead of hard coding it again down here, we could say, I want to comment this out, but save it. You could say instead, labels equals uniques. So it equals that variable value. So let me make sure there's no cells that I was supposed to run and haven't yet. Otherwise it won't work. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, it looked like that worked just fine. So does someone want to recap for me what just happened there? Does that make sense?
So instead of having to type out each state or the label, wait. Oh, so you had to go up and change the code for the unique. I guess I was like running into the same question when we had to go back and make the pie chart reflect the different shapes. So I was entering them like manually. So that would have been kind of a shortcut to go and, okay.
Yeah, totally. That's the beauty of variables in any programming language, but in Python, you can have this tidy name that holds a lot of information. So you just have to assign it once. And then every time you say this variable now, it knows that you want those values. If you were making a pie chart and you were just randomly picking values from your data, you'd probably have to do it by hand. I don't know if there's a shorter way to do it, but in this particular instance, we're making a pie chart and we just want one slice of the pie for each state. So we want the unique values. So that's what we get. And then we have that list and we can pass it to whatever we want.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for asking. That's a great question. Yeah, and it also points out something you probably are starting to notice in these notebooks now that you're getting more advanced is that we call it Pythonic. Like you don't want to have a lot of clutter. You don't want to repeat yourself. And the better you get at programming, the more elegant and concise your code will get. A lot of what we're doing here in the notebook is really like explicit, and there's a lot of repetition because we want clarity. But later, as you become better and better coders, you'll be tidier.
In kind of way that you mean like in that labels, we can just assign labels right there and get the uniques from the data frame, right? So like, can I escape that uniques variable even?
Yeah, right. So we can just add this. Is this what you're saying, Par?
Yeah, I think so. So I can just say labels equals to the list.
Yes.
And then get the data frame to get the uniques for me of the location. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just all in one line like that. So you don't have to do it twice. You don't have to type it out by hand. We wanted to break it down a little more for the notebook so you can see the steps. But yeah, it seems like you're all already advanced enough to read that line.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, if you just read that line, it says that like my UFO UDF, the location column, get the uniques of that. So that would get me the unique values of all the locations. And then the list, that's like to convert something in, because what you get back from a data frame is an array. And we have to convert that to a list because our matplot wants a list. So to convert something, you just say like list and then parentheses, you wrap that whole thing in parentheses. Yeah. Awesome.
Nice, great questions. Thank you.
Cynthia, was that your question too? I saw in the chat you said you had a question.
Oh yeah, that was similar because I was looking at doing the pie chart for the shapes, and that's where I was like, I wonder if there's a shortcut for this, because I imagine like if you have a large data set, you're not going to do that.
Yeah,
Right. Totally. No, that's a great point. Yeah, and that speaks to, if you look at that website I mentioned, it's also, it's linked in the notebook, I believe, kaggle.com. Those data sets are big. This is a tiny extraction of one of those data sets. And you really would not want to type it, but you couldn't really type it by hand. It would, you just, get tired and make mistakes. But you want the program to do it for you. That's what it's good at.
And the Kaggle website, I think we talked about it yesterday. You can go on it to get data. And does it also have like exercises you can do on the same site?
I believe it has some tutorials. We mostly use it in class to get interesting data sets.
Okay.
We've used like Pokemon data, coffee stock prices, sports information, epidemiology. I think, yeah, they also have some instruction on there, but that's mainly what we use it for.
Yeah, some of the data set even like hint, I think some of them have links to maybe a GitHub project that somebody like has done something interesting on that data set. That would be, that's like always interesting to follow. And some of them also just in the description, like say what type of stuff you can do with that data or what people have used it for. So those are interesting. And then there's on Kaggle, there's been competitions, but those are like a little bit more for advanced, like mid-level advanced. Although like anybody can join the competitions and you can join with a group, so you can be in a larger group. Those are all highly encouraged, I would say. A lot of the other sites that we listed, Cynthia, yesterday, like Simba, Solo Learn, those have a lot of good exercises.
Okay.
Yeah, those are more like kind of these like 5 to 10 minute challenges.
Yeah, we do that a lot in class too. And we try to have challenges every day because that's the repetition is just how you learn. So encourage you to all do that also if you're interested in learning Python.
And as far as like the actual bootcamp classes, do you use the same like notebook style? Okay.
Yeah, we often, oh yeah, sorry, go ahead, Par. Yes and no. Yeah, we don't use Google Colab. We use, call it an IDE, an integrated development environment, called VS Code. And it allows you to run the notebooks right in an editor, which is nice because it has a bunch of tools for debugging and looking at the state of things, which is really helpful as things get more complicated. But essentially, we'd be looking at a notebook similar to this in most of the lessons. And then we also have introducing the lessons, just like written paragraphs like you'd see in a textbook, for instance. So it's like explanation and then notebook and then explanation and then more practice.
Thank you.
I can probably share actually part of the notebooks for the class if you want. Here I can.
Yeah.
I can open that in the back. Let's see if I can share my screen. I think this should show well. So sorry, like this is probably let's go back here. We go smaller. So this is actually our bootcamp repository, and what I have open right now is VS Code. So VS Code is an IDE that we use. So like pretty much like day one, week one, you learn how to use VS Code and learn how to use the repository. And we have a lot of different chapters here. Each chapter has a bunch of episodes. Each episode is pretty much a day. And each chapter is roughly a week, although we have some chapters that go over 2 weeks. And in each episode, like Alma said, we have, for example, these notebooks. So very similar to the Colab, but here, like you can actually run these like inside VS Code. But yeah, you have like the instructions, you have a little code block, you can run the code blocks. And then you typically have these exercises. So then it will prompt you to write the code. So it's very similar to what you just learned, but then maybe another data set or another data file. And then you have to like finish these code blocks, on your own or with your pair. Like Alma said too, we also do other challenges. We like every morning in our stand-up, we do a little 5-minute or 10-minute like prompt, so a coding challenge, and those are just a repetition. Like so to get you to use something that you learned the last day or some Python challenge. And each one is kind of designed, it's either repetition and also designed to like kind of teach you a new technique, coding technique too. The nice thing about those, well, first they're timed. So it kind of gets you all in the thinking of like, even coding interviews, it gets you really prepared for those down the line. But the nice thing is like, after we do the challenge, we go around the room and have everybody present their code. And even though like a lot of times you don't even finish, but it's just to see how somebody else is like thinking and to see like if somebody has solved it, that really helps you. And a lot of times like Alma and I do those challenges too. So a lot of times if nobody got it, or I mean, even if we got it, if we want to like have a, something that we want to show, we also present our solution. So it's good to see, good to get that repetition over and over again. Those challenges, we are also thinking about starting those, kind of making those public. So a lot of the challenges that we do in our class, if you're signed up for our newsletter, which you can do on our website, then you'll start getting the challenges. So, we can, every week you have like a little coding challenge that you can do.
Sounds cool. Thanks for showing.
Yeah, of course. Like this particular one that I was showing, I think is just shows you how to work with files in Python. Then chapter 6, for example, here this one I believe is Airflow, Apache Airflow. So how to work with Apache Airflow, and a lot of these have kind of these instructions too. So very much the same. You just read the instructions. I mean, this is again much more complex. It's at this point you're actually like probably 15 weeks into the boot camp, and this is Apache Airflow, so it's a fairly complex data engineering tool that you'll learn over 2 weeks for this particular chapter.
Okay, and that would be for the full-time program. So I guess in part-time you'd get a little bit more time.
Yeah, part-time is always like double that time because the work hours per week is half in part-time. Exactly.
Okay.
I stopped sharing, I believe. Yep. And you're still thinking about the part-time program, Cynthia? Yeah, the full-time is probably the time commitment of it. It's not something you can do, right?
Right. I work in the schools right now, so like this is my summer break. But I think the part-time, like if it was to happen in October or push back, I think it would line up for like being off next summer and being able to do the internship.
Yeah. That's totally right. Because actually the internship will line up pretty well for you too, because then you have off for summer when you graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we see that a lot. Actually, it's just a lot of folks, same reason. Yeah, they won't be able to do the everyday commitment.
Yeah.
It works better for them. Yeah. I'll definitely let you know as soon as we have that program available. I'll reach out to you for sure. But if you like to check back, probably end of August, we'll probably know a lot better. And again, October 10th is what we're shooting for, that forward.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Of course. Tam, Dominique, do you guys have any questions?
Not right now, Par, but I agree with Cynthia. The part-time would probably fit me better because I work full-time.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely getting a lot of that requests. We're thinking about it for sure. I'll definitely let you know, Tam, as well. What else? Also, keep an eye on, again, I think I mentioned this yesterday, keep an eye out for our events. So Alma and I are putting together these, again, much shorter, but over like 2 or 3 days workshops. Those are going to be like very specific like data engineering skills. And we're sort of starting them from like basic skills, just like setting up your laptop, like installing all the data engineering tools, like installing the IDE, like how to work the IDE, installing Python, like notebooks locally. And then we would slowly kind of evolve those more into like the more advanced topics like pandas a little bit more, or like Airflow, etc. So
Yeah,
go ahead.
the upcoming events that we're working on that Par just mentioned will be a good way to prep you for boot camp. Not that you need any kind of preparation. We expect people to come in totally cold, but it's nice to have dipped your toes in. Also, stay tuned on the newsletter and the mailing list. We are, like Par said, going to probably start making those challenges public, so you can be good at Python before you even start the class. And also the first couple weeks of the program are under construction. We want to make improvements for the next round, but we're probably going to make those public also once they're fixed up. And then if you're interested, before you actually enroll in the program, you could start checking out the material and learning it ahead of time.
Yeah. And all of these are on the website. So like all the events now, the website has an events page. Of course, it's also an Eventbrite. We use Eventbrite for those which you guys use. They'll be on both. And the first 2 chapters that you can do on your own, again, we're rewriting them because we have a lot of good feedback. And that's on the website. I think it's the link that gets started for free. If you do it now, it's the old material, but in a couple of weeks, it'll be all the new material for sure. And we'll put those out on the newsletter. Again, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already. That's just on the website as well. Cool. Well, if you guys don't have anything else, we'll let you go. Enjoy your day. Again, it's I know Dominique and Cynthia, you guys are in Portland. Again, it's a beautiful day. It's a little cooler today, so get out, enjoy. Tam, you're in LA. It's always nice there. So again, it's a nice thing. Yeah.
Thank you all for being
Thank you
here.
very much, Alma and Par. It was wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. absolutely. And please, guys, don't be a stranger. Reach out to us again. Our email is both our first name at datastack.academy. My full name is Parham, so there's a ham at the end of mine. But
Yeah, and we're happy to help with any data engineering questions you have. If you're off learning on your own, we'll do what we can.
yeah. Take care, guys.
All right, thanks everyone. Have a good night.